Today I fricked up. OK Wolverine 1487 says. Today I fricked up be sending intimate pictures on disc. So I 19 female met this guy online. He told me that he was 18 and I stupidly believed him. I sent this guy intimate pictures and then he drops on me that he's a 15-year-old TikToker with 250k followers whose whole account is about exposing predators. Then he told me that I had to give him money otherwise he would expose me. The only problem is that I don't have any money. Any advice would be appreciated. I have screenshots of when he said he was 18 and when he threatened to expose me if I didn't pay him. Truthfully, I really didn't even want to send the pictures and he pressured me into sending them. I'm completely broke and eventually he told me that he wouldn't share my pictures or expose me. I'm assuming because he felt bad for me. I have screenshots of the entire chat and I just don't know what to do. I have many friends who are on TikTok a lot, so if this gets out there I'm very likely to lose most of my friends. I'm panicking at this point and my entire life will be frick ed over if this guy does end up deciding to post it. I don't know if this is real or if it's just some sort of messed up scam, but I could lose everything. He didn't give me the name of his TikTok, so I think it might not be real. I'm really hoping that it's not. What do I do? Any advice would be appreciated. Too long, didn't read. I got scammed by a guy who said he was 18 into sending intimate pics. Now I'm being blackmailed. Edit. Stop sending me chats asking for nudes. I'm not sending shit to anyone. BTTLC says. Block and forget. It's a scam. Mr. 78 says. Also, stop sending nudes to people you've never met. Unsupported says. Or keep your face out of it. Tostinedtony says. Sounds like a scam to me. OK Wolverine 1487 says. I really hope that it is. Macheos says. It's 100% just ignore it. I know that's easy to say, but that's the only thing you can do. Dan Scored says. Yeah, he's not a TikToker. He's a scammer. As others have said, block them. Illimitable One says. This is a common scam or hustle. I don't necessarily have the best solution for you. However, I will make several points that may help you think through your quandary. 1. You have no idea if this person is telling the truth about their age, gender, location, or anything else. 2. Capitulating by sending money or additional photographs does not ensure that the person blackmailing you will stop blackmailing you. 3. In every case, the solution to blackmail is honesty. You have naked pictures of yourself. If you feel shame about naked pictures, then the blackmailer has power over you. On the other hand, if you do not feel shame about having naked photos of yourself, the blackmailer does not have power over you. The best solution from my point of view is to call the blackmailer's bluff. If your parents or friends see naked pictures of you and judge you because you have been blackmailed, they are assholes. You might also speak to someone in law enforcement and warn the targets to whom the blackmailer has threatened to divulge your personal images. Remember, if you have done nothing wrong and have nothing to hide, there is no point to blackmailing you. As a matter of fact, you have done nothing wrong. Most people are sexual and most people have private photos. Own this. Traumatized says. A scam and hopefully a lesson learned. OK Wolverine 1487 says. Oh definitely, I'm literally never sending pics like that again. Sickly Child says. That's the best policy. Never. If a guy doesn't respect that boundary, that's a red flag. Thoughtserolastic says. If you have the screenshot of him saying he is 18, you should be just fine. I don't know where you're from, but in the US there are laws in place regarding deception when it comes to sexual matters. Thoughtserolastic says. No matter what, don't pay him anything. Zapdos the person says. This is actually a thing. It's called sexploitation. Just ignore it. There's entire criminal gangs trying to pull this scheme on people. A couple actually got extradited from Africa to the US over harassing some teenage. r/today I fricked up. Designa Cooch says. Today I fricked up be walking into a stinky bathroom. I'm at work, and I had to pee. I do as any normal does, and I go to the bathroom. When I step inside I'm absolutely curb stomped by the worst smelling ass cannon shit stench I've ever smelled. This bathroom had multiple air fresheners that only made this poop assassination worse. I audibly and quite loudly go, holy shit, what did you eat? I had assumed no one else was in there. I was wrong. The culprit speaks up and quite timidly goes, oh I'm sorry, and she steps out. It's this tiny little old lady. We make eye contact. I pretend it wasn't me who said it. I'm the only one in there with her. Fast forward to 10, give or take IDK, minutes later and I'm approached at my desk by none other than the booty bandit herself, because she needs to check out. It's awkward. We both pretend the interaction never happened. Too long, didn't read, I expressed discomfort of a bad smell and the bad smell heard me. William Hittle says. It would have been real funny if shrugged your shoulders and said, shit happens. Satup says. That was an opportunity to upsell. Pointing to a display of air fresheners, would you be interested in a bulk purchase of air fresheners? And if there were no air fresheners close at hand, point at anything at all related to the subject, like books of matches or big lighters. Overgrown Shrub says. This guy hustler, bravo. Jeffrey Friedl says. I'm not a stand-up comedian, but I've had this routine in my head for decades. That you own the state of a bathroom the moment you enter. For example, as you're about to enter someone very shady comes out, and you're immediately on high alert. You walk in to find visual and nasal carnage. Not only the smell that op described, but shit on the mirror. On the ceiling. On the door handle. You think of the perpetrator that you just saw and almost vomit. You back out slowly with a look of terror on your face. You almost bump into someone about to enter, and they look at you as if you are very shady. Big Gattery says. Bad smell lady isn't real, she can't hurt you. Boba TTHX says. The booty bandit took me out. But on a side note, she likely isn't bothered by your commentary. She's dealt with a lot of crap over the years. Frankly Ridiculous says. Air freshener really does make it worse. It goes from shit stank to lemony shit truss and it's awful. Lutoyal says. My friend has cancer and is in chemo and their farts and shots are foul. Like so. Bat, Gagamagat style. And we laugh about them often because farts are funny, especially the not funny ones. Maybe she on some medication that makes her guts rotten smelling. Laugh cry together about it. Dragonflimoma 6671 says. There was a woman at work, Ellen, who had Crohn's disease and was having a very bad day. Another woman, D-Bag, went in the bathroom and made a bunch of nasty comments, fully embarrassing Ellen so much that she quit that day. People went to management and they couldn't do anything because Ellen never returned their calls or told them specifically about the incident herself, was just hearsay. Felt bad for her. Everybody poops. CL4P Trap says. She must have eaten lutefisk. Fantastic Classic 740 says. Ass cannon shit stench is the worst. Bring my bullets 8 says. It always amazes me. The level of smells that can come out of these tiny people. I expect it from a giant ass man. But never a little old lady. r/today I fricked up. Magneto says. Today I fricked up be challenging my fianc to a swimming race and ending up in hurt. Today, my fianc 24 female and I 25 male were talking about getting active again and somehow got on the topic of swimming. We both used to swim competitively years ago, so we thought it would be fun to hit up our local gym's pool. Of course, it quickly turned into a challenge, a 100-meter freestyle followed by a 400-meter individual medley, and whoever won the would get to pick the last race. So, we get to the gym, and I start warming up in the hot tub for about 10 minutes. Then I hopped into the lap pool for a few laps about 10 minutes, before we started racing. As the race came to a close, I quickly realized how out of shape I am. It was way more exhausting than I remembered. We finished at the same time, though I'm pretty sure I won, but she thinks otherwise. After the race, I was feeling super winded, so I sat in the water for about 10 minutes, hoping it'd catch my breath. But I kept feeling worse. I decided to get out and call it a day, sitting on the poolside for another 10 to 15 minutes, expecting to feel better, but nope. I felt dizzy, fatigued, had a slight headache at the back of my head near my neck, and my eyes felt like they were sinking in. My fianc went to change while I tried to pull my shit together. We left the gym, and I was still feeling weak and dizzy, like a weird, drunk dizzy. My fianc had to drive us home because I was in no condition, which didn't help my pride or body at all. Once we got home, I told her I needed to sit in the car for a minute to get a grip on reality. Leaned my seat back, and bam, felt 100% worse. Sat up, door open, and out came my late lunch from 5 hours ago. After that, I felt a bit better, though still not great. So, here I am, wondering what the hell happened. Has anyone else experienced something like this? Is this just me being super out of shape, or could it be something else? Any advice or similar stories? Too long, didn't read, challenged my fianc to a swim race, ended up feeling like a presidential candidate after intense cardio, and threw up afterward. Not sure if it's just being out of shape or something more. Has anyone else experienced this, or heard of similar stories? Edit, about 2 hours have passed, and I feel perfectly fine. A lister friend says, when I started getting back into exercising, after being out of shape, I made mistakes. The most entertaining of which was, when I started playing soccer again, I would fall over. It happened multiple times in a single game and was hilarious, but also very humbling. I'm closing in on 30, and the last time I really sprinted, I was in high school. I used to be fast and strong. Unfortunately, I remembered being fast and strong, but my body very much did not, and when sprinting, I fell forward because I kept trying to run faster than I was physically capable of and just fell over instead. It sounds like you felt better after a bit, and hopefully feel even better now. It might just be that you were out of shape and tried to push yourself too hard. I found it interesting that, while my physical capability had degenerated, I could still push my body really hard, even though I was out of shape, and I felt absolutely awful after. Some things were still possible, I just paid a whole lot more for them, and was more likely to hurt myself in the process. That all said, I have also once felt winded for a while after exercising, and had to lay in my car for 10 to 15 minutes before driving home from the gym, and it later turned out I had bronchitis. Drink up, eat some good meals, get some good sleep, stretch, warm up, then do some moderately challenging exercise, I think. If you still feel awful, you may want to check in with a pet Dingbot says, this happened to me as well. I was the 5-minute mile type in high school, and when I got back into running, after about 20 years off, I pushed myself as hard as I remember my practice pace was, and I ended up overheating and hurling on the side of the road. Once I got my bearings on what I could actually do, closer to 7 minutes, sadly. I finished tired, but not dizzy and sick. Your body isn't capable of that anymore, but your brain remembers, and your ego does too. Booker the Booker says, reminds me of the time I went swimming at the gym after not having swam at all for years. Didn't think much of it because I used to swim daily and could easily swim 30 to 40 laps without getting tired, swam competitively, etc. I get to the pool and there is an absolutely stunning girl doing laps in the fast lane. Naturally I get into the fast lane. Started to ease my way into it, but this girl is a ein dolphin. She's an amazing swimmer and she's quickly right behind my feet. Pride at stake, and not wanting to get past, I start going faster, not an insane speed, but fast enough to keep pace with her, and not impede her, since I'm the one who got into her lane and all. After 2 laps I can't breathe. I stop and steady myself enough to wobble back to the locker room, where I vomit neatly in a trash can. I lie down on a bench for about 10 minutes, after which I gather all the strength and resolve I can manage to change and walk back to my car, where I proceed to pass out and sleep for 3 hours. It was a nap of shame. Lungbatursica says, as a respiratory therapist, I would recommend seeing your doctor and not exercising like that again until you do. You could have asthma or a heart condition. It's also very possible that you're just deconditioned for that kind of exercise. But, do you want to take that chance? Ragnarotiko says, I echo someone else's suggestion to go see a doctor. Get blood work done, ask for a scan of your lungs. It is not normal for a 25-year-old person to be that winded from some swimming, even if you are really out of shape. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.